Good morning, children. Sairam. Children, in previous presentation, we have finished off the 15th group element, that is the nitrogen family. The elements that were present in the nitrogen family are nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. After that, in the live class, we have already started with the elements which are present in the group 16th of the periodic table. Now, those elements are oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium and polonium. I have discussed many of the important points regarding these elements. I have told you the general electronic configuration of these elements is NS2 NP4. For oxygen it will be 2s2 2p4. For sulfur it will be 3s2 3p4. For selenium 4s2 4p4. For tellurium will be 5s2 5p4 and for polonium will be 6s2 6p4. In between d orbital and f orbital, in case of the last element, f orbital will also be involved. Now polonium being having very short lived, we are not discussing in detail because more properties of this elements are not yet been clarified, as it is very short lived element. After this, we have discussed the trends in atomic and ionic radii. The ionization enthalpy also we have discussed, electronegativity, electron gain enthalpy, catenation and allotropy. Up to here we have already discussed in the live class. So today I am starting with the oxidation state. Now children, you all know, as I told you that these elements are having the outermost shell configuration NS2 NP4. So they show either these elements try to gain 2 electrons or to share 2 electrons. So they show two types of valencies, the negative valencies and the positive valency. Now as oxygen is an electronegative element, so generally oxygen shows negative valency, that is the -2 oxidation state, -1 oxidation state is generally shown by oxygen. And the other elements, their stability increases when the positive oxidation state increases. Oxygen cannot show the positive oxidation state except for in compound like OF2. You all know fluorine is the most electronegative element of the whole periodic table. After fluorine comes oxygen. So when there is a bond formation between fluorine and oxygen, oxygen has to show positive oxidation state and fluorine will always be negative, obviously. Now children, unlike oxygen, the other elements can also show the oxidation state of +2 and +4 and +6 also, due to the promotion of electron to the vacant d orbital. Now see how the promotion of electron takes place. Now in if I'll draw the ground state, in the ground state of the atom, this is ns orbital, this is np orbital and d orbital is also available. Now in ns orbital 2 electrons are present, in np orbital 4 electrons, 1 2 3 and 4 electrons are present. Now by this they can show either +2 and or -2. Now if one of the electron from here goes to the d orbital, then what will happen? They will show +4. And if this electron will also go to the d orbital, then they can show +6. So in this way they all can show +4 or +6 valency also by the shifting of electrons. Children, these +4 compounds show both oxidizing and you can say reducing properties. Fluorine brings about the maximum oxidation state of +6 in the compound. Example is in SF6. Here you can say one sulfur is surrounded by 6 fluorine atoms. The higher oxidation state become less stable as we go down the group. As we have discussed in the previous group also, it is due to inert pair effect. That means the inner orbitals will not take part in bonding, so they show reluctant in showing higher oxidation state. These compounds are covalent and are typically volatile. Now children, coming to the chemical properties of group 16 element. Now first of all, we'll discuss about oxygen, as oxygen is very important in this group. All the elements that are present in the second period of the periodic table, they are very important. Why? Because of their anomalous behavior. What is anomalous behavior? It is the behavior which these second period elements can only show in their group due to some of the important characteristics, that is small size, high electronegativity, high ionization enthalpy, and the absence of vacant d orbital. These elements, or you can say this oxygen, is smallest in its respective group. It is having the highest electronegativity in its group, and it is having high ionization enthalpy. It do not have a vacant. So children, because of these properties, being small in size, having high electronegativity, having high ionization enthalpy, and not having the d orbital, this oxygen shows many characteristics, and on the basis of this you may get 1 marks question in your board exam. Now see, an example is, because you can say hydrogen when combines with oxygen, or when it combines with sulfur, both are of the same group of the periodic table. This is oxygen, then sulfur, then selenium, then tellurium, then polonium. That means they should combine with hydrogen and form same type of compounds. But you all know that H2O is a liquid at room temperature, while H2S is a gas. Now why is H2S a gas while H2O is a liquid? It is because of the presence of hydrogen bond in water molecule. Now why hydrogen bonding take place in water molecule? You all know conditions for hydrogen bond to take place. That is small size and high electronegativity. Now sulfur is not having so small size, not having high electronegativity, so hydrogen bonding cannot take place in case of sulfur, whereas it can take place in case of oxygen. So this is one of the, you can say, consequence, that is because of the anomalous behavior of oxygen. Another, you can say, due to the absence of vacant d orbital, the covalency of oxygen is limited to 4, which rarely exceeds 2 actually. That means oxygen cannot form more than 4 bonds, whereas the other elements can form 6 bonds also. But oxygen, generally it does not form even 4, it forms 2 bonds only. Now, both oxygen and sulfur are very reactive, and reactivity decreases from top to bottom if we move in the group. That is, oxygen is highly reactive, then is sulfur, then selenium, and then tellurium. Oxygen is very reactive and it reacts with almost all the elements despite its high bond dissociation enthalpy. You know that 2 oxygen in the atmosphere, how is the oxygen present? In the form of O2, and O2, in O2 molecule, 2 oxygen atoms are joined through a double bond. Still, it is very reactive. It reacts with almost all the elements, but it is having high bond dissociation enthalpy. This enthalpy, it gets, the bond breaks, and still the oxygen can react. Now children, if we see the reactivity of these elements towards hydrogen, how these elements react towards hydrogen? They combine with hydrogen and form H2O, H2S, H2SC and H2TE type of compounds. Now, you all know that water is a colorless, odorless liquid but rest all are colorless but bad smelling poisonous gases. If we see to the acidic character, water is least acidic here, but as we move down the group, the acidic character increases. What are actually acids? Acids are those substances which can give their H ion. Now, why acidic character is decreasing down the group? Because down the group, if we see the case of H2TE, the bond length is high. That means if the bond length is high, the bond strength will be less. So the bond can easily break and it can give its H ion. So as it can give their H ion easily, that means it is more acidic. This is the reason why the acidic character is increasing down the group. Now if we see to the thermal stability, stability means it directly depends with the bond strength. Shorter the bond, stronger will be the bond. So the stability decreases down the group. As in case of oxygen and hydrogen, the bond is small, it will be strong. Here in case of hydrogen and selenium, the bond is long and it is you can say weak, so it breaks easily, so thermal stability decreases down the group. Third important thing that we have to discuss with the hydrides of group 16 elements is the reducing character. Now if we see, you all can see the reducing character increases down the group. Now what is reduction? In terms of hydrogen, if we say addition of hydrogen is reduction. Now that substance which can easily give hydrogen will be better reducing agent. So here the selenium hydride will be the best reducing agent here. Why? Because the bond length is more between selenium and hydrogen, and as the bond length is more, so it can easily give hydrogen. More bond length means lesser bond strength, so it can easily give hydrogen and is a better reducing agent. So again, when 16th group elements react with hydrogen, they form H2O, H2S, H2TE and H2SE. The acidic character, if we see down the group, increases. The thermal stability down the group decreases, and reducing character down the group increases. Now children, you cannot remember it as such, but you have to remember on what character the acidic character depends, on what thing the thermal stability depends, and what thing reducing character depends. It depends upon the bond length. Clear? So try to remember this. Now next, coming to the reactivity towards oxygen. Simply children, with oxygen it can form two types of compound. Like for example, if we discuss the case of oxygen, oxygen will form only this, that is EO2. So it will be O3. Another type of compound that can be formed will be EO3, like SO3. So two types of oxides are formed, EO2 and EO3. Now coming to halogens, when they react with halogens, they can form monohalides, dihalides, tetrahalides, pentahalides and hexahalides, depending upon the oxidation state of +1, +2, +4, +5 and +6. Depending upon this, they can form these halides. Now children, in the next presentation we will be discussing about the dioxygen. Dioxygen is actually the O2 gas. We have to study the preparation, properties and uses of some of the important compounds of group 16 elements. So we'll start with dioxygen in the next presentation. Thank you children. Sayonara.